The 10th Amendment is the final amendment in the United States Constitution original Bill of Rights. It was added to assure delegates from the various states that the federal government would not step outside the boundaries established in the Constitution. The governmental powers not listed under the Constitution for the federal government are powers that the states or people of those states have. The Supreme Court has declared that the 10th Amendment is a truism. This means that the amendment does not really add anything new to the Constitution. It was put in place to emphasize that the federal government has jurisdiction over some things, and the state government has jurisdiction over other things that the federal government has not claimed power over. The states have jurisdiction over rules for marriage, divorce, driving license, voting, and jobs and school requirements. For example, the national government does not cover these powers because they were not mentioned in the Constitution, so they became powers of the states.
The 10th Amendment is significant because it describes the distinctive relationship between state governments and the national government. It also reflects the fundamental principles of federalism, individual rights, and limited government, which are outlined in the Constitution. It was also created to please the Anti-Federalists. This was the most popular amendment among the Anti-Federalists because it reassured the protection of state power. South Dakota versus Dole in 1987. A federal law that would withhold 5% of highway funds from states that did not raise their minimum drinking age to 21 was ruled constitutional. The court believed it was passed in the interest of the general good and by reasonable means. In its authority under the Spending Clause, Congress had the power to attach conditions to the receipt of federal funds provided that the exercise of the spending power must be in pursuit of the general welfare. Brown versus the Board of Education in 1954. Although Kansas had a state law that permitted segregated schools, the federal interest in desegregation was so strong that the U.S. Supreme Court found the state law to be unconstitutional. Gonzalez versus Raich in 2005. In this case, a California woman sued the federal government because it seized her personal medicinal marijuana crops. In California, medicinal marijuana is legal, but the United States federal government claims it is illegal. Although the woman grew the crops only for herself, the marijuana could potentially have entered into the larger marijuana market out of state boundaries. So the Supreme Court ruled that the federal government's laws trumped California's state laws because of the government's right to regulate interstate commerce. What this shows above all is how the federal government laws can influence state laws, despite the 10th Amendment.
Future challenges or applications to the 10th Amendment. One of the challenges will be that the state government will want more power over time. A second application or challenge would be that the government would not want to give up certain powers to the states. A future change to the 10th Amendment would be putting certain restrictions on federal government and clearly stating what they have power over.